Right, it's time to get our first of two pre-finals underway here at the BNL Rotax Golden Trophy here at Karting Genk, home of champions, on Sunday, November 4th, 2018. So, it is time for the pre-final for Micromax, 24 competitors set to get into battle here at the home of champions. Also home to GKS Lemons Powers. On the front row, it's a Dutch front row. We'll actually make that a Dutch 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. Bruno Mulders and Enzo Bol, 71 and 55 are your front row, with Tommy van der Struijs and Mitchell van Dijk in 54 and 7. Row number 2, Ops Maximilian in the 77 and Casper Schulmans in the 40. Round out row number 3, ahead of Max Weiss in the 28, Alexander Skelton in the 33. That's row 4 with Olivier Jonkers and Adam Klepsik, the 16 and 27. Rounding out row number 5, completing the top 10. Dovidas Gudulevicius and Nando Weichselbaumer in 23 and 12. That's row 6. Alvar Simisvara and Anton Laxonen in the numbers 4 and 8. Make it a finish row number 7, ahead of Max Soderski from the Netherlands in the number 19, and David Auledner from the UK in the number 6. Henri Velou and Time Seller from Belgium and Germany respectively in the 22 and the number 1 on 17th and 18th, ahead of Dries van Langedonk from Belgium in the number 30. Andriy Tiskin in the from Sweden in the number 74, with Turkey's Alp Hassan Aksoy in the number 10 on 21st, ahead of Tom Reger from Germany, Karol Stout from Belgium, and rounding out the 24 strong, it's Chris Robin Kalam from Sweden. So 24 drivers set to get into battle. They will be the first drivers to have a final this weekend at 20 to 2 this afternoon. And look how quickly 22 of the karts, with the last two, which will be Karol Stout and Chris Robin Kalam, rounding out the 24 strong order. We're about to go into battle in Micromax for the first time this weekend. Race control just saying split a little bit wider, boys and girls. Let's get the racing underway here for Micromax. It's the pre-final. We have 10 minutes plus 1 additional lap. Great control from Mulders and Bol at the front of the field. Behind them will be their Dutch countrymen, Tommy van der Struijs and Mitchell van Dijk. We're ready to go green in Micromax for the first time this weekend. They come towards the final couple of corners. They now head into the tram lines. 10 minutes plus an additional lap to go on the clock. The red lights go. Oh, full start call by race control. Going to be another formation lap. So race director was not happy with the starting procedure. So it's time for the Micromax drivers to reset. Hit control out and delete as they all start to bunch up and have to sort of avoid other competitors. So, and I have to say, very impressive control from both Bruno Mulders and Enzo Bol, trying to get them into formation incredibly quickly as soon as turn 5. But we have got one kart that may not be taking any further part in this, and that is the number 23 of Gudulevicius, unfortunately. So that's going to now reduce our field by one competitor to 23, as the kart is now pulled to the grass on the inside of turn 1 here at Karting Genk. So that means that you're going to have Simisvaara from Finland is going to have a clear run in front. So 11th on the grid is not going to take any part. A real shame for Dovidas Gudulevicius there, unfortunately. But we're about to get our second attempt at a rolling start formation in Micromax underway. Some drivers trying to get some heat into the tyres that the drivers are using. Current air temperature now up to 8 degrees Celsius, so it looks like we're going to hit 12 degrees at around about sort of 1 o'clock this afternoon. But we're about to get the racing finally underway here in Micromax, with Nando Weichselbaumer having no one alongside for company on the rolling start formation. Red lights on the starting gantry. It's attempt number 2. Second try, gents, shall we? For Micromax pre-final, 10 minutes plus 1 additional lap. They split and go into the tram lines. The engines roar into life. Is it going to be a green light this time? Yes, it is. And there's a bar. We've got one going sideways and spinning. That looks to be Mitchell van Dijk that's hit the barriers already. 3 karts involved. But luckily enough, Mitchell van Dijk looks to have gotten away from that as well. as it's 3 wide coming through turn 4. This is getting incredibly heated, and so we've had 3 drivers, maybe even more than that, involved. So Mitchell van Dijk went up onto 2 wheels and was spun around. And hello Mario Lugnen from Germany, my good friend, who I caught up with at the B&L karting series a few weeks ago. Oh, we've got another one off track, and it's nearly 3 abreast going through turn 9. My godfathers, I thought, what is going on here? And we've got a lot of action and also some drama here in Micromax. As nice move there from Kasper Schormans, who's going up the order as well, up into 4th place now. Has got past Max Reis from Germany, but good to see that Mitchell van Dijk is okay and walked away from that accident just on the very on the start phase, as it was 3rd and 4th trying to come together, and what happened? They did come together quite literally, but Mitchell is it's good to see him up and away from that. But at the front of the field, they are pulling away. Bruno Mulders and Enzo Boyle are now the 2 at the front. They have been leading from the word go when the red lights went out around 90 seconds ago. So they are battling over the lead. A little bit further back from them is the number 33 of Alexander Skelton. Kasper Schormans and Obst Maximilian now round out the top 5. And the other driver involved, unfortunately, was with Mitchell van Dijk, was Tommy van der Sluis. So that's a real shame for the pair of them. That's not going to help them with regards to the final a little bit later on. They may have some. They will have some work to do between now and then. Meanwhile, the 2 at the front of the field. Bruno Mulders leads. Enzo Boyle now 2nd. Alexander Skelton, Kasper Schormans, Obst Maximilian, Max Reis, Aaron Krepsik. And you've got Simisvara, Weichselbaumer now up into 9th position. Max Zadersky also making some inroads to the number 19, now up into 10th. Laxonen, Aksoy, now rounding out the top 12. Dries van Langendonk now up into 16th position. Olivier Jonkers up into 18th now. Henri Velou is also another casualty, the number 22. But Goodlevicious did not even make the start phase, so did not even start the race. But the gap between Mulders and Boll is definitely no longer 0.274 seconds between the 2. It's about a cut length, not even that, as Boll really closes up in the braking zone around the final couple of corners and swings a little bit wider than Bruno Mulders to try and get a bit of a toe on the number 71. The gap now drops down a little bit more to 0.2 of a second, as Boll was a little bit quicker on that particular section by 0.07 of a second, and he's running the back bumper and the number 71 going through turn 4. Now they're going to the left-hander at turn number 5. And is Boll going to strike? Not quite yet. Mulders is very, very tight on that defensive line coming through turn 6. As there's another overtake. Looks like whether Kasper Schormans might have just lost out to Max Weiss there. Line astern from 3rd down 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. So there was a 5-cart train being led by Alexander Skelton at the moment. And if you think you're going to try for a move up on the outside of turn 10, you're going to be incredibly brave to do so. But the Micromax drivers are not afraid by any stretch of the imagination. And it looks like Schormans is going to go try and get past Skelton, who has dropped past Maximilian, who's gone up into 3rd position. So Schormans makes the move. So off Maximilian from Poland, now up into 3rd place. Kasper Schormans 4th. Alexander Skelton, Max Weiss, as well, looks like Schormans has gone for 3rd and has got it. But then Maximilian fires back, trying to come out of turn 3 into turn 4. It's side by side between Maximilian and Schormans. Who's going to blink first? Well, Schormans is going to have to yield to Skelton, who cuts off and goes up the inside of Maximilian, going through into turn 6. And look at this battle from 3rd to 7th position as they head down. Careful, guys. It's going to be tight. Oh, my goodness me. And someone's definitely lost out a handful of places. I think that might have been Kasper Schormans. I'm not too sure. I'm going to keep an eye as they come through. But whilst they've been battling from 3rd to 7th position, there's been a few more drivers catching up. Aaron Krepsik, Max Zadersky, Simisvara, Weichselbaumer now hits the top 10. And where is Sherman's in all of this? That was an incredible little five-way slipstream fest coming down as well, Shawman's actually went up into third. Skelton was the one that lost out massively there, as you can just see how much Ops Maximilian is defending from Casper Shawman's in the number 40. This is the battle for third. And right behind him, they've got the 77 of Ops Maximilian in fifth position as Shawman strikes and gets past the number 77. You then got Aaron Krapsik in the number 27 as well. Max Rice is factoring into this very, very nicely indeed. It is Linus Cern heading through turns 7, 8. Now into the sweeping right-hander hairpin at 9. More overtakes. And it looks like Rice has probably gone up the inside of Krapsik, which he has done. Nice work by Max Rice from Germany in the 28. Sweet little move there, just absolutely timed it perfectly, got the momentum, carried it through, as Maximilian is going to try and go up the inside of Shawman's going into the penultimate corner. Yes, Maximilian makes the move in the 77, but Shawman's is fighting back and it's side by side. Maximilian's trying to close it off, heading into turn 1, but then Shawman's has to yield and gets absolutely pounced on by Rice there, I think. Yeah, Rice now up into 4th position. Shawman's losing out again, and I think this time it's to Max Swiderski. Swiderski has absolutely been flying through the field, and whilst the battle for third quickly exacerbated, it's now concertinaed the remainder of the top 10 all the way down towards turn number 7, but great battling from our Micro Max competitors. We've got about 2 minutes, just under 3 minutes to go, and there are more overtakes happening in the battle for third position, and I think I spot that Max Rice might be in third. Well, he was for a second before Ops Maximilian pounced and got past, and Swiderski is in 5th position. I don't believe this. Max Swiderski in 5th, absolutely flying, and has got behind him looks to be Shawman's. So Mulders leads by 0.07075. I tell you what, Enzo Boll is waiting to pounce. Meanwhile, the battle for third is really heating up. Ops Maximilian now retakes third place from Max Rice. And right behind them is Swiderski, Shawman's. I think Swiderski's dropped down to 6th position. Shawman's back up into 5th and is ready to pounce on Max Rice going into turn 7. He's running a back bumper. He's gone to the inside line. Is he going to throw it up the inside? They go side by side through the corner. Max Rice shuts the door, but then goes very wide, allowing Shawman's to really come back at him. Meanwhile, this is giving Ops Maximilian from Poland the chance to pull away, and he is doing so by a good few kart lengths in the minute from Casper Shawman's. Tommy van der Stroys is now another retiree, unfortunately. Following the clash with Mitchell van Dijk earlier on lap number 1, we have 90 seconds on the clock to go, plus an additional lap here. And our 2 leaders are about to come up against a back marker in the latter stage of this race. So when is Enzo Boll going to strike? Because they've got 1 minute and 15 on the clock, plus 1 additional lap, and at the pace they're running at, which is round about a 62.1, as the back marker cleanly gets out of the way. Nice judgment call there. That could have been Schnaut, I think, in the number 3. They've just got past. But that's allowed Mulders to pull a little bit of a gap between himself and Enzo Boll, who is really closing very, very quickly indeed. So it's 71 versus 55 for the lead. 50 seconds on the clock, plus 1 additional lap to go here. Meanwhile, the battling a little bit further down. We go back to Ops Maximilian and Casper Shawman's as well. Could I ask that Mark van der Kamp heads to the stewards immediately? 270 Senior Max, Mark van der Kamp to the stewards immediately, please. Thank you. And here we go. The lead has changed. It's changed with around 26 seconds on the clock. Enzo Boll strikes at turn 3. Bruno Mulders goes back up the inside on turn 5. That's a great little move there by the pair of them, just using great slipstream and good clean overtaking. Meanwhile, behind them, let's have a look at the battle for 3rd and 4th position, because I spot that there might be Casper Sherman's might be in 4th position. He is, and he's right with Ops Maximilian. Sherman's is going to throw it up the inside, I think, into turn 7. Nearly goes side by side with Ops Maximilian, but thinks better of it on this particular occasion. But the timer has expired in the Micromax pre-final of the B&L Rotax Golden Trophy in 2018. Enzo Bol will have one more lap to mount an assault at Bruno Molders. The leaders now across the start-finish line. Last lap board it is. And Molders sensibly takes the inside line, whereas Enzo Bol uses that momentum to try and pounce on the number 71. Whoops, the curb coming through turn 3 as they go through turn number 6 for the final time. Enzo Bol trying to use a switchback move on Bruno Molders and is trying to go round towards the outside into turn 7. This is going to be brave and it's very best. He's gone really side by side with Bruno Molders. They come through into turn number 9 for the final time, but I think that little manoeuvre that Enzo Bol tried there has allowed Bruno Molders to probably get the advantage, but Bol has really got some great traction coming down this little blast into turn number 10. Through they go into the left-hander at 11, and Bol has powers and he's gone side by side and he's forced Bruno Molders a little bit off the track there. But that was very, very clean. I didn't see any contact between the pair of them, but Enzo Bol is on course and he punches the throttle hard to cross the start-finish line to win the Micromax pre-final ahead of Bruno Molders, who takes second. Oh, mounting on the back of the car. What is going on there with Casper Sharmans? He's mounted the curb, mounted the back bumper of Ops Maximilian crossing the start-finish line. So Ops Maximilian absolutely a bit irate there, I believe, and they're stuck on the outside of turn 1. So what happened there, I couldn't really see. All of a sudden I've seen the 2 leaders cross the line, and I tell you what, that's actually really great sportsmanship. If we can zoom on into turn number 1, I think it was just an oversight by Casper Shormans. He mounted the back bumper, got the front fairing caught on the rear bumper and rear wheel of Ops Maximilian, but I tell you what, that was quite good. They said, look, they both embraced there. That's a real good show of sportsmanship, saying, sorry about that, my bad. So nice to see that we had Ops Maximilian and Casper Showman's quickly making up there. So Enzo Bol in a last dash manoeuvre overtakes Bruno Molders to win the Micromax pre-final here at the 2018 B&L Rotax Golden Trophy. The gap between them at the end was just over 9/10 of a second. Ops Maximilian and Casper Shermans were literally adjoined at the bumpers crossing the start-finish line. 5th was Aaron Krepsik. Max Sadursky made his way all the way up into 6th position at the end, with Alvar Sinisvara from Finland in 7th. Max Rice, who was factoring in for at least the top 3 finish, finished in 8th position, ahead of Alexander Skelton, Nando Weichselbaumer, Laxonen, Aksoy, Altleitner, Tsikin, Saleh, Langendonk, Yonkers, Kalam, Reja and Stout being the last of the 20 competitors that finished the race, with Tommy van der Stoys and Mitchell van Dijk coming to blows even before turn 1 on the first lap, with Henri Velou and Dorias Gudulevicius not even taking the start.